Because I Got It Like That, that was a special record for me because I was like, yeah, I could sing. I wrote that song for Prince, actually, because I knew he liked the staple singers. And there's a song that the staple singers sung called A Piece of the Action, which was from a movie with Bill Cosby and Sidney Poitier. I used to watch this movie over and over and over again because I liked that song. And then one day I read that Prince, one of his inspirations was the staple singer. And, you know, they had like this gospel style. And I was big on gospel at the time. I wasn't religious, but I loved gospel music. So I was sitting on the train on the way to the studio, and I was imagining a staple singer styled song for Prince. And I even told Mike, when I got to the studio, actually, when we got on the train, I sang, dancing on the dance floor, girl, it's you that I adore. And I said, yo, that's the new Prince song. And he was like, yeah? Wow, that's hot. And I was like, nah, I'm just kidding, I wrote that. He's like, you wrote that? I was like, yeah. I said, oh, we're gonna record that. Girl, I House You came about organically. Red used to play this warm-up hip-hop set, and then it like peaked at around Stetsasonic, Go Stetson. And then he'd break it down to like Frankie Beverly and Maze, Before I Let You Go. And then I remember he put on this record. It was a red label, white letters, Trax Records. And it was Marshall Jefferson, Move Your Body. And I was like, wow, the piano sounded like gospel, and it had an intro with no beat, and then the beat would come in, and the dancers, the same hip-hop dancers, would go into different moves, feeling the Holy Ghost, going crazy, but the lights would come on. That was the end of the night. And I was like, what is this music? A couple of times, because he played it a few weekends before I caught on to it. So then I go out there and dance a little bit, and then the dancers would start telling me, yo, after this, we going to this other spot, this hole-in-the-wall spot, where they gonna play some house music. So I started to follow him down there to the house music downtown Lower Manhattan. That's when I caught on to what the house music was. I was in the club till the Latin quarters were in maybe like 1, 2. I'd be in the club till the sun come up, dancing with the dancers to house music. So then one day after school, I went down to Coney Island to TTO Studios, Tony Dick, Idlers Records. And we was at the end of the album, and he said, you guys want to make a house record? Immediately, I was like, yeah, hell yeah. I was like, play the record. And he put on Royal House, Party People. Now that record used Marshall Jefferson's record, and Todd Terry produced that, but he put a hip hop beat to it. And there were 3 other versions. So I was like, I already been dancing to those 3 versions. And we took the 3rd version. He said, well, we could take the record and just make a new record out of it. Sure, why not? I said, we could take the record, like the vinyl? He said, yeah. Put it on the turntable then. We had the instrumental, recorded it on the tape machine. Psst. I remember sitting like outside the control room on the ladder. And I got up and started dancing. 20 minutes later, I had my part written, recorded. I already knew. I was like, girl, I'll house you. Girl, I'll house you. You in my hut now, my hut. You know, I was just thinking, you know, in hip hop, we say, I'll house you. That means we're gonna like jack you. That means we're gonna jack you. We're gonna take something off of you. So I was thinking, this would be cool, like a double meaning, you know?
The creative process for Girl, I House You, it was pretty fast. Todd Terry called us in the studio, him and the owner, Tony Dick, the owner of Idlers Records at the time. They called us into the studio and they told us that they want us to do a remix for a house song that they had been working called Royal House. And we got in there, we heard the song, we wrote a couple of quick verses, party vibe. At that time, we used to record in the booth together, so we were both in there, we shut down the lights, and we just hammered away at it. And it didn't take long. I think we did it in like 3 takes. I mean, the record felt great when we finished. And I mean, look at us now, still probably one of the biggest records of our career. Like 30 years almost, you know what I'm saying? It's sick. It's a sick number. 30 years, goodness gracious. I thought it was gonna be a good record, but I didn't think it was gonna really blow up like it did. It felt good when we left the studio, But I didn't even, I think it happened so fast too, because I think we recorded it maybe like 2 days later. They had that thing on wax and it was banging. So it was like, it went, for that time period, it was a fast turnaround.
I had a ball, and that was like, the funny thing, it was the last record we made for the album. And when we gave it to Warlock, who was the P&D deal, pressing and distribution, they laughed at it. It's classic. When you do something that's never been done before, there's always gonna be somebody who's like, oh, seriously? PCs, why personal computers, why would you want to do, who would want that, you know? He laughed at it like that, like, oh God, this is a joke, guys. And he said, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put it on the cassette. He put it on the cassette. All the club DJs would play that record off the cassette. And then they would call Red and say, you don't have this on vinyl? Y'all pressing on vinyl. I got the first single. I got On the Run. What's up with our house shoe? We playing that off the cassette. They going crazy. They had to remaster the album because people were going in the stores. They wanted to buy the album for that record. You know, the other audience, the people that were in the house music. And it was only on the cassette. So he had to remaster the album. So the last laugh was that him, you know what I mean? Because it was like, we told you, this is the joint. So they had to go remaster the album. Cost more money to remaster the album, to put Our House View on there. And that's my joint. I love house music. So I was like that was a big victory for me.
The funny thing about house music was that in New York, house music was born from disco. So, you know, disco records were still being played, and then after the disco set, the DJ would play the house songs. So if you're in the club either that early or that late, you're gonna hear them songs and you're gonna feel them, you know. Of course, everybody associates, you know, house music with gay people, but in the same essence, people also associate house music with girls. So it's like, if you wanted to get with the chicks, you're gonna dance to a couple of house tunes, you know what I'm saying? It's either house or reggae, you know what I'm saying? Hip hop lets you dance too far apart. Early on, we were into house music. We were into all kinds because that's what the DJ gave us. The DJ gave us the house music, he gave us the hip hop, the breaks, you know what I'm saying? And funk records. So, I mean, we were fortunate to have it all. If somebody was really on the house tip, you could tell. You know, somebody who was just well-rounded, you could kind of tell too. So it wasn't a taboo to really listen to house back in the days.
We would do 4 or 5 shows a night, from Wednesday to Sunday. Roller skating rinks, kid shows, door open shows, middle of the night shows, after party shows. And sometimes it would be just that record. We just do that one record. And people go twice. People will go crazy. They couldn't get enough of it. Still to this day, we could do that record twice, and people will go crazy. Like we was in Newcastle, England. We performed the house shoe. Crowd went crazy. All the memories came out. And when we finished the song, a girl comes up to me and says, "Excuse me, I was outside. I'm sorry, I missed that song. I was outside having a cigarette. And I really love that song. Can you do it again?" So I told the whole crowd, yo, this girl was outside smoking, and because of her, they said, we got to do this song again. Can we still do it? And everybody was screaming, yeah, you know, we like made a joke out of it on her, you know. Did it again, same response. The girl fainted right in front of me. I had to carry her out because she had too much to drink. She was dancing too hard.
I'm still thinking that's some sound guy or whatever, and he's going, da, 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 and I go, huh? And he just stole on me. Pop and clocked me like right around here. He got me good.
You got to school your own. You have to get knowledge of yourself from your own. Racism is rampant and runs deep because nobody seems to know what it is. Everybody was saying that those lyrics were dope, and I'm like, really? Oh, then you ain't heard nothing yet, you know? So, I mean, you know, I always felt like, you know, yeah, when I started taking myself serious at MC, I thought that I had something special for the game.
Creativity is going to change the planet for us. And artists are the ones that's going to lead that.